Hey everyone, it's August 2016. I've read a number of books this year, and I wanted to do a video review of some fun books, some bedside books, or some books you might like to travel with. And these are my three picks for those types of books. I'll also be doing some videos on business books, philosophy books, and management books. But on the fun book side, surely you're joking, Mr. Feynman. It is the autobiographical story of Richard P. Feynman as he's in college, as he gets some of his first employment jobs, and as he works on and builds the atomic bomb, and just things from his life. There are a number of just interesting tidbits of knowledge and wisdom in the stories that are told here, and so it's fun to just read and kind of extract for your own life what might be meaningful. Here's what struck me. I'll just give you two things that struck me about this book. One is the story about how he's switching doors around in the dormitory. It's very early on, and he's confronted about this, and the way that the question is asked, he's able to say he wasn't the one doing it. However, he was the one doing it, and here's some commentary he had to say on this. "I don't know what's the matter with people. They don't learn by understanding. They learn by some other way, by rote or something. Their knowledge is so fragile. The idea they remembered, but not the words." And that's kind of those are kind of the points of this story that he's telling, which I enjoyed. And then another one was when he was building the atomic bomb, he said he was told, so the lieutenant's coming around to check on them. He says, "Don't tell the lieutenant anything. Once he begins to think he knows what we're doing, he'll be giving us all kinds of orders and screwing everything up." And I thought that was a funny commentary about hierarchical structures, and something that I think any organization that has a hierarchy, of course, worries about once the person either directly above them, or now if you start getting more removed up the hierarchy, the less the person really has any idea as to the day-to-day operations and things that might be fragile, and so they start thinking they understand things, and of course screwing up the whole thing you're trying to do. So that was cool. Another great comic book, graphic novel, is Logicomics. And this is actually a pretty deep book so don't be fooled by the appearance. The story is about Bertrand Russell, and it follows a narrative of him giving a lecture around being a pacifist, which he was. And it's confronting this pacifism in the face of the Nazi Germany power rising. It's great. I mean, there's so many cool illustrations in here. This one I particularly like because it's based on Wander Above the Sea of Fog, the painting by Frederick David Casper, which is a great romantic period piece and point about the climbing the hill of knowledge and kind of summoning it. So that's kind of is definitely a reference to that painting. So I enjoyed that. And I don't want to give away too much of the book, but I'm going to jump kind of near one of the main points of it, which is that there are questions which are unanswerable. And that is very much in the theme of this, that logic can help you deduce things given the structure of the logical argument, but there are actually questions which are unanswerable. They can't be deduced through logic or any other means. So it's quite fun to read that. Another one is Our Expanding Universe. This is by Alex Robinson, and this is about 4 friends, and it's inked and hand drawn. It's by about 4 friends who are going into the next stage of adulthood, and some of them are having children, and it's really about trying to keep that friendship intact as everything around them changes. Almost like friendship is that frozen connection that we have with people, but we're in an ever-changing environment, so we can't really freeze what that is like and then continue on our lives. It has to sort of grow and mature, and there are just a lot of really awesome illustrations in here. I particularly like this, where they play some video games together and he does the illustrations for each sequence of the game or the characters or the bosses. It's just really fun, and he sneaks a couple of little characters in the backgrounds of things, like when they're in the train and out in restaurants and stuff. You just look at each panel, there's some fun stuff sneaked in there. So if you're looking for something somewhat relaxing, but that all these books have deeper layers underneath them, they're not just a straight book of entertainment, I think you'll really enjoy those. And stay tuned for some of my other topics. Thanks.